Hello, what is up, everybody? My name is Mario Picciardo. Today we have another story for you, this time out of Breitbart. It says Meryl Streep says we hurt boys by calling something toxic masculinity. Women can be toxic too. So here it goes through this statement that Meryl Streep had said. Um, where she's basically kind of just saying, why are we pointing at men and saying that what they do in particular is bad? Look, there's parts of the things that men say that are bad, but there's also things that embody masculinity that aren't bad in the same way that there are parts of femininity or things that women do that are obviously, you know, that can be toxic. And then other things that women do that, you know, aren't toxic. And so Meryl tries to bring a sense of really a sense of just common sense to the situation and say, hey, for everybody who's really trying to push this idea, listen, there's a point where women aren't perfect. I know, shocker. I know this is like blowing your mind that women aren't complete angels, that they're not, this perfect being. And so my question is, and I'm sure Meryl would back me up here, is where is the female toxic femininity group or podcast? Because there's this woman. Her name is Gwyneth Paltrow. Paltrow. I can't say her last name, but she is launching a new podcast. It says aimed at men, aimed at helping men fight scourge. Okay, I can't speak today. I don't know, guys. Uh, of toxic masculinity. I'm just going to say scourge. The scourge of toxic masculinity as part of a new range of products from her lifestyle brand Goop. So not only is a woman helping men fight toxic masculinity, but it's a part of a new product range that she's selling. So first I want to say, all right, you shouldn't package up and try to sell toxic masculinity. This is the same reason why people were pissed off at Gillette for what Gillette was doing. They were capitalizing on, social and political controversy. But they decided to choose a side. And it's interesting because they decided to choose a side when Gillette, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but specifically for Gillette, they're going off on a tangent where Gillette really is just, you sell razors. That's what you do. Why are you attacking your own audience by telling them that they're not woke enough? Seriously? And so that's why Gillette got flamed. Here, for this young woman, Gwyneth Paltrow, it's funny how the left will point out and say, like when they talk about cultural appropriation, you can't, sell Chinese food if you're white. You have to be Chinese if you're black. If you can only be black to sell black food, Mexican to sell Mexican food, so on and so forth. There was a woman a while ago who in New York City, she spent all this time. She spent months and months and months trying to go into different Chinese restaurants, tasting the different food, taking the best parts of what she could find at each place, and kind of designing a recipe so that she could eventually open up her own store. Because she wanted to be somebody, and she wanted to build what she thought was the superior menu when it came to some great tasting food. And so she goes to all these places. She tries out the the lo mein, all this stuff, and then she comes back. She just like the natural American entrepreneur opens up a shop and says, okay, here we go. This is going to be with the new Little China or whatever. She didn't call it that, but she basically opens up a Chinese shop. But everybody flames her, and they try to take her down. The left is like, this is ridiculous. This is cultural appropriation, all because of the color of her skin didn't match what they wanted it to be. Her eyes weren't the right shape to be selling that kind of thing. Does when I say that, doesn't it kind of ring that bell where it's like, wait, her eyes aren't shaped the right way. Wait, her skin color wasn't the right skin color. Hold on a minute here. This sounds racist to me. The fact that people are discriminating against you on the basis of how you look, on the color of your skin, on your culture, on things like that. Okay, that's racist. But the left doesn't care. They're drowning in hypocrisy. They're drowning in inconsistency. They're drowning in common sense. They're drowning out of a lack of common sense. And so, it's coming from that same vein. How they say, well, if you're white, if you're anything other than a race, you can't speak for that race. You can't help that race. Men can't really talk about women's issues because they're not men. It's kind of funny that that's the kind of standard that the left pushes, that you have to be from that background to really be able to speak about it. And then here, Gwyneth Paltrow is trying to launch a podcast aimed at helping men fight toxic masculinity when, she's not a man. So I have an issue now against Gwyneth, who is an actress in Hollywood. First off, you're privileged. Okay, one, you're white. You can't speak for all men the same way that you would say that I can't speak for all women. So get out of here. Just get out of here. I mean, this is like you're capitalizing on issues that are going on the other side of the angle. You're not following your own rules. They bend and twist the rules wherever it's convenient. Listen, as long as you're on their side, it's fine. As long as you believe everything they say, as long as you want to murder little babies, as long as you want to, you want to allow as many people into this country who could be murderers, or even just people who are going to destroy our democracy by voting illegally. The Democrats don't care. They don't follow rules. They don't follow laws. They do whatever they want. They get away. They're above the law. A certain somebody proved that when they didn't get prosecuted, and they were the Secretary of State, and they didn't. We're not even going to go into that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to click on this and see what comes up. So she's launching. So this is her. Look at this. Look at this blonde hair. Look at how fair her skin is. I can't tell if her eyes are blue, but stereotypical white woman, right? Now she wants to look at this. She launches a podcast to help men fight toxic masculinity. She's going to be the face of fighting toxic masculinity. She's not even a dude. She is not even a man. And not only that, but she's also white. So who is she? So is she going to be the face of telling a black man not to be toxic? Or is the leftist ideology so racist that only white men are racist? So are you saying that a black person isn't functionally developed enough to be able to be racist? Because I don't know, Gwyneth, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the left, from that Gillette ad, from all of this stuff that the left is pushing, all this propaganda. So I don't know, but this is kind of what I'm starting to see here. So her new podcast is called Goop Fellas. It says will reportedly focus on helping men achieve. Yeah. So that's what we talked about before. She says it feels like we're at a point in the culture where men are rejecting this sort of toxic masculinity. Goop's chief content officer, Elise Loinen. Look, another woman. Perfect. You know what? Let's have the Toxic Masculinity Council just be all women. Let's just let it all be white women, with blonde hair, blue eyes. They totally understand the plight of men. They totally understand the plight of men of color. They're so much smarter than us. They're so much better than us. Than who can we depend on? Because we are too dumb as men to even know what toxic masculinity is, to be able to help ourselves. So good thing we have women, around to do that. So here she is with two guys, kind of guess it makes it easier, right? Because now she's, okay, I'm with two guys, and this totally makes it cool. I'm with you. Let me be around you. So here it says, they've launched the podcast with these two dudes, it looks like, and chef. Okay, one of them's a chef. The other one says Dr. Wilco. I don't know if that means he's actually a doctor. To hear incredibly moving, powerful stories of healing by these two gorgeous men. So I guess that means these guys became soy boys because they started talking about their emotions all the time. They kind of lost their aggressiveness, the thing that women really want out of a man. But that's fine because we don't even care about that according to the left, even though it destroys families. The left doesn't care about family. Listen, anything that's stable for a society, anything that helps a society grow, anything that increases the human population, that brings more life into the world, the left absolutely hates that. They want you to have less children and they want to encourage abortions. They want to make sure you can get abortion anywhere you can. They want you to be sterilized if possible, when and wherever possible. Listen, they eat this stuff up, okay? So that's all we have here for her other section there. What else is in here? Now I'm starting to get curious. So let me go back here because we clicked in. I'm going to actually get rid of that. It says, it's the cultural ideal of manliness, where strength is everything while emotions are in weakness, where sex and brutality are yardsticks by which men are measured, while supposedly feminine traits, which can range from emotional vulnerability to simply not being hypersexual are the means by which your status as man, they say quote unquote, can be taken away, the group said. Now, I'm not even going to continue. I'm just going to say something really quick because men... So here's the thing, okay? Society, when they look at men, look at it from, because, a lot of people are evolutionists. I'm a creationist. And I think there's profound evidence for creation. Actually, I think it makes more sense that creation happened than evolution, but that's besides the point. But for the evolutionists out there, let's take a very kind of, caveman approach to this, right? So you have the woman and the man, and they're cave people, right? Now, the woman, if she gets pregnant, she needs a lot of resources from the group. I mean, she needs a lot of time. She's going to have 9 months. The baby's going to be, using up a lot of her nutrients and stuff like that goes into her body. She needs someone to protect her. She needs someone to provide food. She needs these things. And so who is the woman going to want to pair off with when it comes time to have a kid? Is she going to want to be with someone who's strong and aggressive and able to protect her? Or is she going to want to be with someone who's kind of a soy boy, who kind of talks about how he feels about everything, who isn't really, compact and strong in himself to be able to, disregard his emotions when it comes to fighting, when it comes to getting into the the thick of things? I'm willing to bet that the woman is going to want the man who, and by the way, even before we get to that, who are the men that women are actually attracted to? Do you think it's the men who are emotional, kind of talk about their stuff, who cry, who aren't afraid to cry? Or is she attracted to the man who's strong, who's stalwart, who, is going to be able to defend her regardless? Is she going to be attracted to the man who says what he means, who's not afraid to fight her? Not obviously physically, but who's not afraid to have a disagreement with her and tell her, no, that's not what's going to happen. Which one do you think a woman is more attracted to? Okay, now look at what Gwyneth Paltrow, this brilliant woman, is telling the population. Oh, you got to get more in touch with your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. But that's not what women want. And so when we have men who go into relationships thinking that that's how they're supposed to be, they get destroyed because they don't understand what women are attracted to. And yet society is trying to tell men, oh, you have to be this way. And if you're any other way, they shame you. They try to shame you and break you down. And then people wonder, partially why the divorce rates are where they're at. This stuff doesn't work. And it's by people who don't understand what they're talking about. And now they're trying to commoditize, turn it into a product. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Gwyneth Paltrow. I think she should stay in her lane. I don't think she has any right to talk to men about what men ought to. I don't think she can understand masculinity because she's not a man. Being aggressive, being tough doesn't mean that you don't have feelings, or you don't care about other people. It means that you know that you need to move mountains and get things done. And there's not a sexist word in that statement. And of course, the left will point out, oh, that's sexist. Oh, that's toxic masculinity. oh, that's misogyny. They'll just throw words out there and stick it to you. They don't care. But they want to shame you. They always want to shame you. And that's why you should never listen to these guys, because all they do is lie. They're dishonest. They're liars. They twist stories. Nothing ever comes out of these people's mouths that isn't crooked. But yeah, so, that's all we have for this one, guys. I'll be putting up another one shortly after this, so stick around for that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.